Shall we?
All right, folks, please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All of you.
All right. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guest here, Nancy Leon. That's how you pronounce it, Leon, okay? All right. And you're running for state senate, is that?
House.
correct?
State House.
House,
State House.
okay, house.
Yeah, much
was.
smaller geographic area.
Okay, very good.
Bertoglio, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
against, you're running against
Yeah,
Martha,
Martha
okay,
is
very
my
good.
one. Yeah,
All
we
right.
had your opponent. Yeah, and we had a forum.
Last week, yeah. All right. Okay, is there, well, I guess we'll have public comment. We'll just go ahead down through our agenda, and if you'd like to bring anything up to us, I'll hit you up at the public comment. Let's see, minutes. We do have a couple sets of minutes here. It looks like we've got October 1st and October 8th of county commissioners.
I would move that we approve both those sets of minutes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do you have a second?
I second, Mr. Chair.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, thank you, gentlemen.
A lot faster.
That does help. Plug in one place, it's gotta be plugged in the other. All right, do we have any reports, Ellen?
Yes, we got budget detail for our office for last month.
Okay,
First for the month.
yeah. Okay,
I think they were all emailed to us as well.
oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure our volumes. Teresa's on Zoom, all right. This is our budget report for the actual commission office for the month of September, it looks like, so. Show that in the minutes that we received that. Any other reports, Ellen,
I have none.
commissioners?
I have none.
I have none, Mr. Chair.
Okay, correspondence, anybody?
I have none.
I have none, Mr.
I have
Chairman.
none.
Correspondence, all right, me neither. All right, we'll jump down to calendar review. Helen, what do we got coming up this week?
Okay, tonight at 5 DUI task force. 6:30 in Montana City, fire council.
Hmm.
Dinner followed by meeting. The 17th, that'll be Thursday, right?
Yeah.
LEPC meeting in Whitehall at 9. Mental Health Local Advisory Committee at noon, survey review at 1:30, library board at 6:30. Friday, there's the CSAA call at 8:30, and it is Commissioner Haggerty's Friday. And Monday, there is the Boulder City Council meeting at 6:30 and the Whitehall Town Council meeting at 7.
Very good, thank you, Helen. Bob, do you have anything to add to that, Commissioner Mullin?
The one change on Monday, I've got, Many Rivers Whole Health in Great Falls. They moved it up a week. Somebody had to go to a conference or something for the later week, so that's next Monday.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hager, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, sir. One change. Tomorrow is the LAPC meeting at that given time of 9 in the morning instead
Okay.
of Thursday.
Where's that gonna be here?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's in Whitehall.
In Whitehall?
It's
Okay.
Cheese Factory down there at my conference room.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
where I have it on the calendar.
Okay. Commission reports. Commissioner Mullen, do you want to start us out on what you've been up to the last week or so?
Sure, not a great deal. Had a couple meetings. Had a Boyd Andrews Community Services Board meeting last Wednesday. They've been applying for grants. They applied for one of the grants at the state of Montana for 300 million. They set up some money for facilities to revitalize their buildings, refurbish, that sort of thing. There was a lot more people applied for the money than they had anticipated, so they got about 50% of what they applied for. But they're gonna convert one of their homes from a men's facility to a women's facility for alcohol treatment, so that's a good thing. Other than that, they're still applying for other grants through the Department of Corrections. We also went over a personnel issue that they had. They had an employee that did the worst thing possible, got in a relationship with one of the clients, of course, and they fired him. And some time later, he moved out of the apartment he was in, and somebody called him and said they had a bunch of client records under the bed that were found there. So all the confidential stuff was blown, and they're wondering how to deal with it now. And it's blown up into a real mess, but yeah. Other than that, I had a Central Service Area Authority meeting on Friday. What did we talk about? I always like to try to talk about something different than we've done, but we've always done the same thing at these meetings, so we talk about the 300 million, the House Bill 872 commission. We talked about building relationships with other LACs. Had an update from Behavioral Health Alliance of Montana. It's kind of the organization that they all belong to. Not much to report from that meeting, Mr. Chair. I'll just drop it right there and say it was a short week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Could I ask a quick question? What's LAC?
Local Advisory Council, Mental Health Local Advisory Council. Yeah, I left off the mental health part.
Commissioner Hager, you're up. What have you been up to the last week or so?
Hey, as of last Wednesday, the CTAC meeting, which is the Community Transition Advisory Committee, Golden Sunlight Mine reported that they have been accident-free for 670 days. They exhumed 3,419 tons of material last month, just half of what was planned due to mechanical issues and vendors availability. Jefferson Local Development Corporation of JLDC currently has 44 members and are looking at updating the bylaws. And the Western Legacy Center's grand opening on their new building, the old Whitehall Town Pump, will be Saturday, November 2nd. And then Survey Review Committee, we did not meet due to other meetings with the clerk and recorder. And then that same day, that Thursday, the Jefferson Weed Board Council, Jill Allen, who's our Weed Board Director, advised the council members that she would be hosting a private pesticide applicator training class in Whitehall at the Assembly of God Church on Thursday, October 17th, between the hours of 8:30 to 4 p.m. Mr. Chair.
Your wife did a good job in those minutes.
Question for you, Dan. Is the Golden Sunlight back?
Somebody typed them up pretty well.
That
The material?
I can't answer that. I don't know. That I don't know.
I know that was the original plan, was to get that so it was inert waste that could go back.
Right,
back
to go back in,
pit,
but after-
I don't know if that ever came to fruition or not.
I don't know if it stopped and then they started doing what they're doing now or what.
Yeah.
I can't answer that. I
Might be a
don't know.
good question for the next
Yeah.
CTAC or whatever they do. All right,
Inert waste, yeah, there was some discussion about that.
yeah, when they went through their float mill or whatever, all the materials they got out would go shipped down to Arizona, and the rest of it would be inert and pretty much harmless that could backfill the pit. And I think they actually got permitted for that. I think that was a big thing they were waiting for, the permit to get
I
that.
think that sounds right.
So I'm assuming if they're floating and getting their materials sent to Arizona, that they would be.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about reclamation in that regard.
Yeah,
So.
that'd be interesting to know if they're working on that. All right, last week, Wednesday, I went down to, or I actually went up to Montana City School, talked about the Highway 518 up there. We got quite a group of us that are concerned about the speed limit on that and some of the other safety concerns. mostly Ash Grove, cement up there. They live right on that road very closely. PPLT, the land use or the trails people there, they have a trail that runs across there and they're trying to get some way to get the trail across that highway without a huge danger. They've got a place right by the railroad, but it's right where the road turns and the railroad's there. It's a big mess, so they're trying to extend their easement up the way a little bit, kind of on the other side of the school, then be able to jump across. So they're looking for maybe a way to make that crossing a little safer as well. Then the Montana City School is kind of the last one that has a pretty big concern about the speed on Highway 518. So we had a meeting with all of us and Representative Bertolio and kind of voiced our concerns. Sounds like there's gonna be a new subdivision just this side of East Helena. Can't remember how many units, but a huge new
Yeah, they're
subdivision.
clearing a bunch of ground there.
Yeah, they're developing the site now, so, yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of
it's a
units
big
there.
site, yeah, it's a big site.
And some of the concerns from this group is instead of going through East Helena and over to work that way, they're gonna cut over on 518 to Montana City and head in that way, so it's gonna make even more traffic going on 518, possibly. We'll see what happens, but nobody could really answer any of those questions there. There was nobody from MDOT, so we kind of stopped and we're gonna try to get a representative from Department of Transportation to meet with us, so give us some options, whether we just need to do a traffic study request or what we can do to get some eyes on that road there, all the way from probably past Ash Grove up to where it meets up with I-15 there at the interstate by Town Pump. I don't know. We'll see. See if anything happens. Let's see, what else did I do last week? Forest County's meeting, that was a Mako committee meeting. We didn't get very far in our meeting in Mako, so we had to reconvene via Zoom just to do some of the housekeeping there, okay the minutes and figure some stuff out. So we had a quick meeting on Thursday. I worked Friday, did a few things around the county. Here, met with a resident about some concerns. JLDC type stuff. Yeah, then this morning, a group of us met about Martinez Gulch Road up north there, try to get a strategy going for that discontent we got up there. Good meeting. We got a road meeting after that. Bear came in and gave us a report on what he's been doing, mostly grading and cleaning culverts. They're gonna be working on that Corbin Road today, try to get that smoothed out a little bit, so it's not such a rough bugger before weather turns sour here in the middle of the week. Let's see, anything else? He said that the BBRD is giving them authorization to pull some cattle guards up Basin Creek. There's 2 or 3 of them up there that are no longer needed, which will make our life a lot easier when maintaining that Basin Creek Road, is not to have to deal with a couple cattle guards that aren't even in use, so. What else did we do? Oh, we talked to Terry, treasurer, this morning after the road meeting for a little bit. She gave us a report, what's going on in her office and some other various things, and I think that was about it for my week.
Did you go to the candidate forum?
I did go to the candidate forum, yep. Yep, that was very good. We had the 2 Senate representatives and the 2 House representatives there, and it was a very, very good discussion and very good crew there. I think there's probably 40 people there, I suppose.
Yeah, big crowd, I thought, both sides represented, really.
Yeah.
Where
that
was
a-
this?
It was at the volunteer hall at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Last Thursday night or something.
Mhm.
I should have been there.
Yeah, I'm surprised you weren't there.
Well, I didn't know about it.
We're gonna have to do a better job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boulder Monitor put that on. They were very good, very fair, and yeah, great questions answered, or asked and answered, so it was good. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna do another one. We're getting probably too close to the election now to do too much
We're
more.
talking about showing the film of that debate at the theater in Whitehall,
Oh, okay, just to give a,
just to give people an opportunity. Be
Okay.
nice to have another question and answer or town hall
yeah,
format, but
You could do that live.
yeah, and take Zoom calls or something.
We kind of miss Bob Sims down in the south end. He was the one that always pushed the candidate.
right,
forum
that
on
was-
the south end.
That was a special one, Bob Sims.
Yeah, Bob Sims, he's did a good job hosting,
Down at Cardwell, yeah.
That's kind of a League of Women Voters thing to do too,
Mhm.
but there isn't, a branch here.
Oh, gotcha,
This
yeah,
county.
yeah. Okay, next thing on the agenda is opportunity for public comment. And this is time we set aside as always for somebody to bring forth something to the commission that we can discuss but can't make a decision on. If anybody here has anything for the commission, this is the time.
Teresa.
Teresa's always got something for us.
Not
Nothing today? Oh,
Okay.
man,
All right.
this is gonna be a short meeting.
No, all's good right now, knock on wood. I just got the NTD report done and in the middle of my fiscal 25 quarter 1 report. And realize I'm supposed to be having a TAC meeting tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Are you having it or not?
Good question, huh? You'll find
Yeah.
out. All right, anybody else have
Try to
anything for
get-
public comment? Nancy, did you want to say anything?
Well, no, I just wanted to say, I haven't been here for a while because, about March, when I first started coming to your meetings, my company, piled about, 4 capital construction projects on me and they have my construction meetings at Tuesdays afternoons. But
Ah,
I just thought, I gotta see what these guys are up to. Hey, do you know the status of that Felchie V education and business question too, where they're suing about the school choice bill and how that money is being distributed, which you guys would have something to say about, right?
I haven't heard anything on
I don't
that.
know anything about it.
Lawsuit, but I'm sure it's probably filed in Helena.
I thought billing spelled GV education, and I just looked and it's been an appeal. The group of public school teachers sued, for enforcement of the school choice bill, which
Mhm.
gave that authority to local school boards to license or offer another local. And, it was, their suit was, their position was upheld and then it was appealed
Hmm.
by the state. So it's at the,
Do you know when it was appealed?
yeah, it was appealed, I believe, in June or July.
Well, given the propensity of the Supreme Court to hand out continuances for filing briefs, I don't think you'll see anything come out of it for you.
Okay, that's what I was
It's minimum.
kind of wondering
It's
how.
6 months. Once things get filed, they'll get the record up there. Appellant then has 30 days in which to file their brief if they don't get an extension. Respondent then has 30 days to file their brief if they don't get an extension. Those are very, if is in there. And then there's I think a 15-day period. My numbers might be off here for a reply brief to be filed, so. I'm sure the record didn't even get complete and get up there until July. So I'm thinking the end of the year, and you can get on, if you have the name, you can get on the Supreme Court's
I
website.
can, and find out the status of the funding document.
Yeah, just go to the Supreme Court clerk's office and it'll have the docket. And it'll have active cases and it'll have older cases that have been decided.
Right. I'm just thinking that'll really affect this, mill levy 9579, that issue, so that it doesn't rear its ugly head again,
sure,
but.
yeah, yeah, we're watching, Mako's watching that close, this legislative
Somebody's
session.
working on that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure something will
Mako, I'm
come
sure
up.
would have a good position on that, and they'd be in a position to want, I would think, consistency.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
yep, absolutely.
Knocking down about 20 mils would be good.
That would help the taxpayers, I'm sure.
no, but that's all I had, thank you.
Wouldn't help
All right.
education,
Yeah,
much.
thanks for being here, appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Wouldn't help education much.
No, I definitely wouldn't. All right, adopt ARPA, a risk assessment and a subrecipient monitoring policy. Did you have that, Ginger?
I do.
What is that?
It's, I just put my water bottle all over. That's
Oh,
what-
good.
Is there,
So this
does
is
it
just,
sound worse than it is?
this is just a boilerplate from DNRC, but this is what they are asking us to go through with our water sewer districts. Or, water user associations that are getting,
Grants?
the minimum allocation grants.
I thought they were one-time grants, though.
Yeah.
They are,
So what are we monitoring?
their
Did
procurement.
we write the
policy
check
mostly-
right or what? What are we?
So what is in there, I think it starts about the 10th page in or something, is a survey that we have to fill out. But they're asking us to have those organizations fill it out too. And basically what it is to determine if they're, how risky of a subrecipient they are. And so it asks questions about if they've been audited, if they have,
They have capability to follow through with the
yeah.
reporting on the grants and all that. stuff.
To manage the money that they're receiving for this. It's really just, this is really just like a checkbox thing that DNRC is having us do because we go through it as the subrecipient with DNRC and we're determined if we're low, medium or high risk. We just have to ask the engineers or the water users to groups to fill this out too, so that DNRC is happy.
So we need to fill one out for every one of the organizations?
They have to and submit it to us and then we submit it to DNRC.
We don't have to fill one out at all?
We have been. I already have.
This is the subrecipient, so we're the recipient and the
Right,
water users are
right.
the subrecipient, so we've got our own set of rules that we follow.
Oh, this is a completely separate form.
Yeah.
Just for the subrecipients.
No, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay,
We're the subrecipient and they're a subrecipient of us.
okay.
So they're sub-recipients,
Yeah,
but
we're down a few notches, but
basically.
So we don't have to fill one out on each organization we gave a grant to.
no, we just get one from each of them. So,
And then we fill out one form?
No, once you guys adopt this, I will send it out to Great West, Staley, Triple Tree. Those are like the 3 engineers that are working with the different groups. Have them fill it out, get it back to me, send it to DNRC and we're done. I just need you guys to adopt it first.
DNRC came in after the fact. This money had been allocated. And then they changed the rule book in the middle of the game and came in and said, oh, by the way, you guys need to do this.
I kind of think they kind of indicated some monitoring in the beginning, but
And they did, they had.
I don't
it
know
in
if it
there.
was this kind of stuff or not. but-
It was that, and we filled it out, Jefferson County filled it out. Now they're 2 years later saying they want.
They want
it.
more detail.
They want us to have an adopted policy, which is what's the agenda item today, and then they want those, other people to fill it out, even though we, Jefferson County, have been filling it out all along.
And if we didn't do it,
I don't know, they will just keep asking us for it, I guess. I mean, some of the water user projects are already done, so I don't know if they'd come back and ask for the money back, but it's basically, I think, DNRC, just covering what they didn't do from the beginning.
they had us as a county covered with this, but they figured out we're giving money down to the next person and are they covered with this? I think they figured out that wasn't happening, so now at the 11th hour, they want us to do that. I think it's just probably a checkbox on their federal money coming down, so,
And again, they've, had revolving door of grant managers too.
yeah.
So the latest one is Rachel Gamar is the latest one, and so she found something that the other ones didn't ask for, so she's asking for it now.
I suppose somebody who had extra time on their hand got into the code of federal regulations and said, oh, by the way, we're not doing this, and we need to be doing it.
Right.
So is this more of a check and balance? Is that sort of what it comes down to be with the county and the DNRC?
So if you guys adopt it, then DNRC can check the box that we have a policy adopted.
And honestly, it's not a bad thing because it makes the subrecipients follow like procurement policy. Like they can't just hire whoever they want, whenever they want, they gotta actually bid it out and do the right steps, so it's fair. I believe that's part of this, isn't it? The procurement.
Yeah, it's part of the survey if they're to determine how risky of a recipient they are.
So, but it's at the 11th hour. I mean, we're almost done with all this money. It's almost all spent out, or it should be spent out by the end of the year. So it's kind of just going back and trying to fix what they didn't do to start with. So,
And kind of what they're doing right now is they're not reimbursing for Hangman's Tree, is that the one? We have a
wasn't-
draw request for Hangman's Trees project, and that's when all this stuff came to light. They said they can't reimburse it until we have this, this, and this. And then they said, okay, we're gonna look at all your other ones to see if we have this, and we don't, so need to adopt this.
so here we are. All right. So do we have a motion to adopt this? Anybody want to move on this one?
Yes, I would make a motion to adopt the ARPA risk assessment and subrecipient monitoring policy, DNRC.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do we have a second?
Yeah, my arm's twisted. Yeah.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion?
I do. Is this in our best interest?
It is if we want to follow through with the ARPA grants that we've given to all our water users association.
Okay.
Really doesn't put us at any risk. It's just a,
No, it's more, they're keeping those other folks in line. then.
right,
So,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that answered my question.
And this is very specific to this money. This
Right.
isn't,
These water grants that we gave.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it'll be over.
Couple
when-
months,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right.
How do we mail it out?
I'll talk to all the engineers and work through it with them.
I'm sure they all had an engineer, but
Who? I think all of them did.
did they all have an
I
engineer?
think so.
A ton of
Montana City, no, I don't think. they
Yeah, the
did.
school didn't, but that's, I think they followed all the policies.
They had an engineer drop their plans and all that stuff ahead of time.
Right.
If not, then it would just be the board.
Yeah, good.
All right, amend resolution 24-2024 fixed tax levies. And I believe this is just a school issue, is that right, Helen?
The
is just a
schools
correction.
in the town of Whitehall.
And the town of Whitehall, we're just updating this to be
Correction of the errors.
accurate on the school. This is gonna include the Gallatin County update,
For the schools?
yeah,
Mhm.
it's all good, okay, so this should pretty much get us, huh? All right, resolution amended.
I move, Mr. Chairman, that we approve resolution 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner, do we have a
Second,
second?
Mr. Chair.
All right, any other discussion on this? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, very good. Hopefully that's the last one we'll have to do this year. Not gonna promise anything, though. All right, last but not least, signed governmental affairs consulting agreement. I'm surprised Mr. Dan isn't here. He may ask me if he needed to be here, honestly.
Cost him money to drive up here, so.
It's true. So this is essentially just a contract for our lobbyist, Dan Ellison, to be the county's lobbyist for the legislative, well, it's all year long, but mostly for the legislative session. And when is this good? Steve, do you remember?
Should
what
be
the-
2 years.
Is it 2 years worth? Oh, term of agreement, December 1st of 2024 to November 30th of 2026. So this is 2 years.
Yeah, which is a legislative session cycle.
Yeah.
And let's see, we pay them about $3,500 a month during the legislative session and about $2,000 a month for interim time, so.
He does a very good job.
He saves us a ton of time here at the commission office. We would be at the Capitol a lot more than what we are now. So money well spent. We'll have to figure out if we can afford it in the future, but if we decide we don't want to do it anymore, we can surely get out of this contract with 60 days notice. So it's pretty simple one to get out of if we ever feel like we don't need his services anymore, so. All right, I'd entertain a motion on this one, fellows, if desired.
I'd be happy to make that motion, Mr. Chair. I move that we approve the governmental affairs contract for this coming session.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, thank you. Any other business for the meeting today? Anybody else got anything? Hearing none, we will.
Anything fun?
We're good. We'll be adjourned. All right, thanks, Teresa. Have a great day.
Finish that report.
I'm trying.
Send me an email.
I will. Thank you.
See you, Teresa.